Hi YouTube, this is just a quick video I wanted to make for people who have either the He3t, He4t, or Whirlpool Duet washing machines, front load washing machines. If you have these, you probably know there's many issues with them. There's actually a class action suit against Kenmore for their spider bracket, which is the bracket that mounts to the back of your tub that actually spins the laundry dry. And I'll get into that in a minute. But these are just some fixes that I've done to several customers. We had a Sears close close by me, and apparently they were getting rid of these washers pretty cheap. So just through word of mouth, people found out that I've been fixing them and rehabbing them. And I'm just going to show you a bunch of things that I have done. Some of these things you won't be able to do. Most you will. So I'm going to start by what I have here on my iPad, and I apologize for the crudeness of this. I don't have my computer that I usually do my video editing with up and running yet. But anyway, so this is the bottom of an He3t, and as you can see, I have the pump hose, which is what kicks the water out of the washer when it spins. Instead of it going to the top of the washer, I have it coming right out the bottom, and there's a reason for that. One, the pump is actually in the bottom of the front of the washer, so it has to pump up to the top of the back of the washer, and then the water falls down into your drain. And most of the drains are at the height of the washer. The problem with this is you always have water left in that hose that's running from the bottom of your washer to the top of the back of the washer. You can't get rid of it, so eventually it is going to start to smell. So I do this anytime I have one of these, and a customer tells me that they put their water into a sump pump. I always drill a hole in the bottom, and I make the hose come right out the bottom and right into the sump pump. That way there's never any water sitting in that hose. It's always fully evacuated. So that's one thing. This is another thing that I always do now to any of these that I get. This is actually a timer. I bought this on YouTube. This timer is connected right to the cord. So on the inside of the washer, I just spliced it into the power cord. It goes to 60 minutes. I think I paid $3 for this, and the other end of this is a tiny little fan that goes on the back of the washer where the vent is, and I'll show you that in a second. And what this does is after the wash cycle is done, you turn this fan on, leave the door slightly open, and it will dry the inside of the washer instead of having, again, water sits in the tub. It just sits in there. And it also sits on the arms, which is another thing I'll show you in a second. Okay, so the tub, if you have the infamous spider bracket failure, the front of the tub, you're going to have to get a new one because it will have chewed through that. So you can go on Amazon and you can buy the new tub. The only problem is they only sell the tub for the Whirlpool Duet, even though it will fit the He4t and the He3t. So if you look at what I have here, the black thing here is your water temperature sensor. On the He3t tub, there's just a hole there, and you push the sensor in. On the Whirlpool Duet, there's this gigantic, you see that gash there, and of course that's not going to work. So basically what I did is I took my old tub, I cut that piece out, and then I riveted it right into the bottom of the He3t, and then sealed it with some really good silicone caulk, and then riveted it on there so it won't leak. And that way I can still buy that tub, because you can't buy just the tub from Kenmore. Okay, so that's that and that. And this is just a close-up of the inside. You can see this is the inside of the sensor, and I just cut that piece out of my other one, and then drilled it and riveted it. And the rivets are aluminum, so you don't have to worry about them rotting off from water. So that's that. Now, here is the infamous spider bracket. When the spider bracket comes on the back of the tub, it is just cast aluminum. Now, I've heard there's been a lot of debate about what happens to these. Eventually, they corrode and they break. I don't believe it's bimetal corrosion, as people are saying, because bimetal corrosion means there's two unlike metals and then an alkaline acidic water source, which is the water in the soap. The only problem with that is where the spider bracket meets the stainless is not where the failure is, ever. It's always right here. It's always here that breaks, or here. And that's because you have soap water that lays in here, and it never dries. It just continually just eats away at that metal. And it doesn't take long. And it could be 2 years. I've had them in 8 months. They break. So what I have done to this customer is this is actually an epoxy, aircraft epoxy paint. It's made by Deft, that's D-E-F-T, and you put it on here, and this is actually the paint that they paint the inside of military jets' wings with so that the fuel doesn't corrode through the aluminum. So this is once this is on here and you let it dry, this is a permanent fix. This will not corrode. I've had one taken apart. The bearing in the back went bad. I took it apart after I had done this, and it was not even. It looked brand new. It wasn't marked. It wasn't pitted. So it definitely does work, and it's a good fix. So this is one shot. This is another shot of the piece after I epoxy painted it. This is the top of the washer of the He3t that I was working on. And remember the timer I showed you before? I actually just drilled a tiny little hole in the top of the washer, and here's the timer. You turn it to 60 minutes, and the little fan comes on. The vent for these washing machines is on the back. If you could keep looking up here, on the back side, right there, there's like a 2x2 little plastic grate, and that's a vent just that lets air escape the tub, but it doesn't really work that well. So I bought a little fan on eBay. Again, it was probably $6-7, and it's connected to that timer. I turn the timer on after the wash cycle, and it runs for 60 minutes, and it dries the inside of the tub so you don't have water sitting in the basin. And there's a picture of it with just on the top completed. This is another fix that I always do. This is the very bottom of the washer. Now, if you don't have the pedestals, this would be the bottom of the washer right here. I have the on this customer's, I have the pedestal drawer so you can put things in there. If you look right here, there's a little piece of string, and that string goes up through the machine. Let me see if I have a picture to show you. No, I don't think I took a picture of the door. But anyway, it goes up through the machine. And you just take this. You could just take this panel off. I think it's only 2 screws. There's one screw here and one on the other side. You take this panel off, and it goes up. And there's a little hook on the bottom of the door latch. On the inside of the door, you have to take your that little boot apart, and look into the bottom of the door latch, and there's a little hook on the bottom of the door latch. And what that's for is if you ever have an emergency or you have a failure, you take this panel off and you reach up in there and you pull that hook, and it'll allow you to open the door, because if you get a failure in the middle of a wash load, the door will not open. So I always put these in my customers. It just sits in the drawer, and you close the drawer. If you need it, you pull it, and you can get your door open, get your laundry out. And that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And I hope this helps people as much as it's helped me and the customers that I've helped with it. It's sad that you have to do this to a $1,200 washing machine, but they don't stand behind their warranty, and they don't let you buy parts. Oh, that's another thing. They only make. You can buy this part, this spider bracket now. You can buy it on Amazon, but it's for the Kenmore Duet, even though it will fit the He3t. You just have to make sure for the He3t on the top of this spline, it has threads, and on the Kenmore Duet it has a spline. So you have to make sure when you buy it on Amazon that it does have the threads. Otherwise, it won't. You won't be able to bolt it into the back of your washer. So that's all. I hope this helps you out. And any questions, leave a comment. Thank you, and have a great day.